So today I'm going to be giving you 8 tips on how to race on a budget in dirt racing in 2025. Well, super excited to have you guys today here on the channel. I love kind of doing videos like this where I can share some of the information that I've learned in the sport over the years, and maybe you guys can find some value in it. Now, before we get things rolling today, I did just want to kind of clear the air because I know like a couple of you guys just ran to the comment section down below and you're like, Tanner, there's no way you know what you're talking about because it definitely doesn't look like you guys race on a budget. I mean, look at this nice equipment behind you and whatnot. Like, you must be, what do they call it? Open checkbook racing. Yeah, that's definitely not true. We absolutely know what it's like to race on a budget, and yes, we are racing at a higher level, but a lot of the things we talk about today do apply. One of my favorite people I look up to, Kenny Wallace, he had a great quote. He said, "Doesn't it suck when everyone thinks you were shot up in the with diamonds?" And that makes me laugh every single time. You just don't know everyone's situation or what they've done to get where they're at. And anyway, we're just very, very blessed to be in the position that we are, and we've had so much help along the way, whether it's our fans, whether it's our partners, and the people around me. So I'm very, very blessed, and I just want to share this information with you today and hope that maybe it helps you on your own journey. So the first tip that I'm setting on the table for you guys today has to do with trying to find good used parts for sale. A lot of times, of course, weekend warriors, maybe you guys don't have the money or the resources to pay, full brand new price for equipment. And I totally get that. When you're looking for something, it never hurts to look at your local speed shop. They might have some used parts for sale, but like any business, they're in it to make money. So a lot of times they, have a lot of new equipment. Now, what I would recommend is checking out Facebook marketplaces. Other racers, a lot of times, are listing some of their used gear that they're trying to recycle. As far as buying and selling goes, I feel like over the past couple of years, this has become very popular. I mean, within a couple clicks, I could get in many different groups that could be just more local or regional in my area in the Northwest or across the entire United States and try to find what I'm looking for. Now, this could be a good way to save a couple bucks on parts. Now, I will warn you, make sure you're buying from, someone credible and that you're not getting scammed. Now, my second tip for acquiring equipment, I would recommend trying to, get close with some of the bigger teams in your division, maybe form a little bit of a relationship there, or just tell them like, hey, at the end of the year, if you guys are getting rid of stuff or you have things that you're wanting to sell, like, keep me in mind or reach out to me first. For example, in the sprint car world, the top teams, obviously the equipment that they're selling is well maintained, they're not selling junk, they're not running it long enough for it to be junk. And I feel like a lot of times the bigger teams in each class, they're pretty fair too with the price because they want to kind of get it moving. It's more of a headache if it's sitting there, if they are wanting to sell, and then they can put that towards, their brand new equipment that they're getting ready to purchase. And something that goes along with what I just said, never forget, motorsports is a people sport. It's kind of all in who you know. You never know forming those relationships if those guys even help you out, even if it's something as simple as like giving you their used tires or stuff that they're throwing away or something that might be still okay to run, but they, wouldn't run it on their stuff. You just don't know. So getting in with the big teams or just having that relationship, becoming friends, it's not always easy, but I'm just saying if the opportunity's there, jump on it. Now, my third tip for purchasing equipment would be to do a team buyout. Now, buyouts usually occur when a team is exiting the sport, so they're wanting to sell everything they have for one price. So basically, since, and this would be obviously you gotta have a little more cash, but for that price, you're getting everything and you're kind of getting a discount because you're signing up to purchase it all at once. So what guys will do is if they want something in the buyout, they'll buy it all, they'll keep that, and then they try to kind of sell like everything individually, whether it's the spare parts, engine, cars, truck and trailer, whatever's included. And they'll try to recoup their total cost because they're able to sell it for a little more because like I said, it's all kind of individual, and then they still get to keep, like I said, whether it's the engine, whether it's the car that they wanted, whatever the situation is. So like I mentioned, this is gonna take some more cash up front, but you might be able to get it back if you do all the work, and you might be able to get some equipment for free technically, or for, a much, much better price than what you'd have to pay if you were just buying it outright. So tip number 4, and now we're kind of moving into the sponsorship category, but within your program, if you know what brands you purchase from, as well as any product that you use to go racing, do some research because sometimes, these companies have programs where they give small discounts. Like I mentioned a minute ago, motorsports is relationships-based sport, And so if you even just like make that small connection, you just don't know where it'll go down the line. But definitely if you're just running on Saturday, Friday, Saturday nights, weekend warrior type stuff, definitely you can get some help even if it's down to the local level. Maybe it's small discounts or a little bit of free product. And to go a quick step deeper, sometimes you just have to go online and type in the company and then sponsorship after that, and it will bring up some information if they have any programs for teams. And I know something like that could be just small, minor help, but realistically, all that adds up and goes a long way. And if it saves you a few dollars over here, maybe that's more money you can put in a different area of your race team to grow. Now, tip number 5, again, has to do with sponsorship. And this is something we've talked a lot about on the channel, so I'm gonna save it for some of the other videos as far as really going in depth on getting more sponsors and having more money for your team. But the main thing to consider, especially if you're just focusing on one track or a small area, is when you're looking for sponsorship, hit up sponsors in that area close to the track. I think your success rate will go up. There's a lot of businesses that do wanna support things that are going on in the community. And on the topic of sponsorship, this is just really a category that takes a lot of homework, a lot of research, and overall just putting in the work. So if there's anything I can tell you about that, just put in the work, don't stop. As far as trying to get brands and get people on board with your program, you just gotta keep pushing forward, and you gotta be ready to hear no a lot before you hear yes. Now moving into tip number 6, and I feel like this is kind of underrated, but I really think that as a driver, you could go to some of these racetracks, and obviously you got to go to the right person, but who is to say if you could offer them value in some way, you couldn't maybe, get a free pit pass every week or get your entry fee comped. And that would be in exchange for like something small for the track, or maybe it's you pick up trash every day after the races, or you help with their advertising, or I don't know what like the situation is, but I mean, I think if you're a good hardworking person and you know how to do some different things, like maybe there's a way you could bring some value to the racetrack in exchange just to like not have to spend that money at the front gate to get to compete every night. Like I said, I just feel like it's something to consider, and usually people that want to race, they want to go all in and they're kind of willing to do anything. So just be something, especially if you know the people at your local racetrack, like it might be worth at least having the conversation. And tip number 7 here, some of the best advice I could give to a local racer is really put together a schedule that makes sense for your budget. And what I mean by that is put together the most quality races that your team can afford, but where you'll also have the most opportunity to get something back. Like this is something that we have to kind of keep in mind. For example, and this is obviously on a big scale, but the reason we choose to go to the Dirt Cup up at the Skagit Speedway, which pays $62,000 to win, is we believe our team has a better shot to win that race at Skagit than on the same weekend going to Huset's for $250,000 halfway across the country. The High Bank Nationals, that's an outlaw race, so there's obviously going to be all the outlaw competitors, where the Dirt Cup, which is still going to be stiff competition, will have a little bit less. Does it pay less? Yes, but a $62,000 paycheck, if we feel like we have a better shot at winning that than $250,000, then we're gonna go for that $62,000. Now this could also go for like if you're running a series and you run all the races, do you get a small point fund at the end of it? Or is there like giveaways and product and things that come along with running a series? Or running for a track championship and stuff like that. So keep all of that in mind in like your payouts each week and with what track you go to, like where you have the most opportunity to get something back for what you're putting in. Now my final tip of the day, number 8, and that would be if you can, I know like I just talked about all this stuff you can do, but if you can make a little bit of content or at least keep people up to date with some social media on what your team's up to, I really think that will be beneficial for you. And I know you probably hear this, but like I would be not doing you guys a good service if I didn't include something like this in the video. Like really, even if it's just a good Facebook page, keeping any of your fans, your friends, your family, people locally in the area, or your partners that you do have, keeping them up to date, by posting regularly. Or if you ever took it a step further and had, a little bit of content or some videos or something that really could open some doors up down the line, or at least like keep the people that are helping you happy at that moment so you can keep on growing. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found some value in some of the information I shared with you. One thing you gotta remember is dirt racing is a grind. There's no cheat code or hack or something just to move your way up the ladder. At the end of the day, it does all cost money, and it takes a lot of hard work to keep building up your program. And I'm very proud of where we are at THR, and I wouldn't be here today without such a long list of people. So like I said, you just gotta keep grinding away and giving it 110%. Thank you for watching, and that is my tips on how to race on a budget in dirt racing in 2025.